I realized I somehow still haven't done a fantasy draft rebuild in Madden 26. So today, for the first time, and for the first time in over a year, we are going to be doing a regular fantasy draft. No CPU picked, I get to pick, and we are going to see what happens to the NFL. And we are going to try to build whatever team we pick into the best in the NFL and see how many Super Bowls we can win by the end of this, or if we can win any, because simulation in this game is interesting. But you know, be sure to leave a like if you enjoy. 2,000 likes and it'll let me know y'all want to see a CPU picked fantasy draft. Obviously haven't done one of those yet. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because we are super close to 85k. And then let me know any fun ideas y'all have in the comments. If I use your suggestion, I'll give you a shout out, obviously. But that's like the quickest intro I've ever done, because I'm excited to get into this. But this is like the most important part of this rebuild. Well, that and seeing if we can win a Super Bowl by the end of this. Where are we gonna be picking? We are gonna get pick 20. Okay. Could be better. Now, I think most of y'all might not know my strategy when I do fantasy drafts. I guess I don't want to spoil it yet, but let's see. I'll show these first 10 picks. I don't know why it says we have pick 32, but that's wrong. But there are guys like Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, AJ Brown, all the 99 overall defensive tackles and 95 pluses still left, of course. Man, just to be unique, I'm tempted to go with one of these D linemen. I feel like we can get a good one in a few picks though. Let's start this out with the receiver. Let's go with AJ Brown. Okay, and I mean, if Saquon Barkley's still on the board, are we just gonna build the Eagles? He is already 28. That's the issue. Maybe I don't want to do that. You know what? This is a weird second pick, but I've seen Greg Rousseau win some Defensive Player of the Years in simulation. So maybe a questionable second pick, but I think it'll be worth it. And now let's go with maybe pound for pound the best player in Madden, at least franchise, Josh Jacobs. I feel like I've had him like 3 rebuilds in a row, but whatever, he's good. But let's grab another Eagle, Zach Bond, kind of playing with fire, getting so many players that are close to 30, but it is what it is. Kirby Joseph is still available, sure. Might be a good idea to add a lineman considering we have 0. Let's go with Joe Alt. No idea how he does in Madden, but only 22 years old, 82 overall with superstar dev, sure. Another interesting pick, let's go with Kobe Turner. I guess he is a little older than I expected. I thought he was like 24, 25, but 26, still not bad. Definitely needs some secondary. I didn't really see that great of an older player left, so let's go with the opposite. Let's go with the youngest player available at corner, I guess. Benjamin Morrison, hidden dev, only 21 years old. Should hopefully develop nicely. Let's go with another young player that I haven't used in Madden 26 yet. Colston Loveland at tight end, sure. And then finally, the last pick I'm gonna show. My strategy for quarterbacks is, I don't think it's worth it to take a quarterback in the first round, unless you have like a top 5 pick and you can get like Lamar or Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or something. I like to wait until about this range or even later and take one of the rookies and try to develop them. You know, okay, I didn't know he only has normal dev, but we're gonna go with Jackson Dart as our quarterback for this rebuild. I don't know if I can promise that he's gonna be here the whole time. He has to actually play well, but he could be our quarterback for this whole rebuild. But I'll make the rest of these picks and we'll see what kind of team we build. Probably not gonna be the best overall, but hopefully it's decent. But okay, we are an 80 overall after the draft. That's not great, but that's better than I expected, honestly. Oh, I guess we are one of the lowest overall teams. The Cowboys are only a 79 though. But after those first few picks, I pretty much just took the youngest players I could find with the best dev traits that I could find. We basically built a team of rookies, pretty much. A few year 2 players, but lots of rookies, including Mason Graham. He didn't get picked until I don't even know when. I like what we did. I feel like it was a decent balance of current really good players and hopefully future really good players. But I mean, Jackson Dart getting to throw to AJ Brown with Josh Jacobs behind him. Pause, I guess. This team could be special. We'll have to see. But let's get straight into this thing. Oh, and you know, I guess since I'm titling this video something different, I guess I'll see where some players landed, like Lamar Jackson on the Chargers, Patrick Mahomes on the Raiders, Joe Burrow on the Saints. I feel like they pick him a lot. I guess that's fitting. Josh Allen on the Packers, Justin Herbert on the Falcons, Jaden Daniels on the Lions, CJ Stroud on the 49ers, Dak Prescott on the Seahawks. Great. The Chargers keep the Ravens backfield. They also have Greg Roman, and the Patriots have a backfield of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. The 49ers keep Christian McCaffrey McCaffrey. The Browns get Justin Jefferson. The Dolphins get Jamar Chase. The Chiefs get Micah Parsons. Fun. Great. The Jags get Pat Surtain. And I do want to check, who was the highest overall team? That's the one more thing I'll check. The Bears blew everyone out of the water. They're the highest overall team by 2. I guess I see it. Fred Warner, CeeDee Lamb, Trey McBride, Laramie Tunsil, Chris Olave. I don't know how they managed to get those 5, but okay. But all right, now let's get to the midseason. Just wanted to give that little recap. I'm sure we'll see more of those players on their new teams, though, as we go here. But all right, we are 3-4 through the first 7 games. That's not bad for how young of a team we have, of course. I still always gotta look. Jackson Dart already been sacked 19 times through 7 games. Okay, Josh Simmons and Gray Zabel have been horrible. I don't know if we really have another option, so I guess they're gonna be staying in though. But it's still really early here, so I'm not too worried about it yet. I just wanted to see who we were gonna have to resign, because sometimes at the first midseason point, you have a lot of re-signings, sometimes you don't. Definitely looks like we do here, or at least 2 major ones. Joe Alt, Josh Jacobs, Jackson Powers Johnson. Dante Thornton could be a starter. He has hidden dev. I don't know if he will be eventually, but we'll see. I guess mostly just these 3, but 3 pretty important ones. Joe Alt will go 5 years, 104. Josh Jacobs will go 4 years, 54. That's a steal for how good he is in this game. Powers Johnson, we'll see. He's not interested. Dante Thornton, sure. He's super cheap. Why not? At worst, he'll be a good backup. But all right, very quick mid-season over. Let's get to the end of the year. And, you know, I don't necessarily think we're gonna make the playoffs year 1, but there's still a chance. We'll see. Man, I should have guessed we were gonna go 9-8. We always go 9-8 in year 1 in rebuilds now. I don't know why, but I feel like we go 9-8 every year. But Jackson Dart, good rookie year, 3,700 yards, 32 touchdowns, 13 picks, not bad. Sacked 48 times. Josh Jacobs, 1,200 yards, 4.9 per carry, 10 touchdowns, 1,000 yards for AJ Brown. We'll take that. Colston Loveland, 800 yards, but 0 touchdowns. It's like Kyle Pitts' rookie season. Let's see. Josh Simmons wasn't good, but did better than he was on pace to do at the midseason. Gray Zabel was horrible. Let's see. Zach Bond led the team in tackles. 10 TFLs for Rousseau led the team. 12 sacks for Greg Rousseau. 9.5 for Donovan Ezeraku as a rookie. Probably not good enough for Defensive Rookie of the Year, because I would imagine a lot of rookies, I can't remember exactly, but I think a lot of rookies play year 1 in fantasy draft rebuilds. Pretty sure, but we'll see. Kobe Turner, 8.5, 7 for Graham. Our pass rush was nice. And 5 picks for Will Johnson, 4 for Chris Paul Jr., 3 for Andrew Makuba, 2 for Zach Bond, and 1 for 4 players. Our defensive numbers looked amazing, at least for, you know, the big stats like sacks and picks. Yet we allowed the 25th most, or 25th least yards. You know what I mean. Caleb Williams wins MVP on the Titans. I don't know the last time I've seen a Caleb Williams MVP, especially on the Titans. I don't know the last time I've seen a Titans QB win MVP. Maybe Cam Ward did once. I don't know, but that's rare. But let's see. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Derrick Henry. NFC goes to Ladd McConkey. But AJ Brown at 9 for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Micah Parsons. DeMarvion Overshown at 2. NFC goes to TJ Watt on the Seahawks. That was an interesting 2 and 3. But Alec Iomanner, number 2 for Offensive Rookie of the Year behind Ashton Genty. So there must not be many rookies starting. Well, I don't know. Dart was all the way down at 5. I thought he would be higher up. He did pretty well. But like Alec Iomanner wasn't amazing. He had what, 700 and something yards, which is like good for a rookie, but I didn't think he would be that. Oh, I guess he had 14 receiving touchdowns. How did I miss that? I don't know. So yeah, I guess he did do well. But let's see. Nick Scorton takes Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Patriots, unfortunately, a division rival. Paul at 5, Johnson at 6, Ezeraku at 7, Graham at 10. I thought these guys did really well. I thought they would at least be a little higher, but I guess I get it. I don't know. But no playoffs for this first year. I'll try to remember to check who wins the Super Bowl every year, because this is kind of a league-focused rebuild a little bit, I guess. But in the first Super Bowl, our division rival, the New England Patriots, take down the Lions 41-16. Definitely not the first Super Bowl I would have expected, but that kind of confirms my bias that the Patriots playbooks might be good in this game. I don't know. At least in simulation, I don't know. I tried the Patriots defensive playbook in one rebuild, and it kept switching back and forth between literally the best defense in the league and the worst, like 1 in 32, so I don't know what it is. But let's see, for the rest of our re-signings, I don't know that I really need anyone here back. Jackson Powers-Johnson, I guess, did pretty well, at least comparatively. We'll go 4 years, 55. He takes it. Everyone else, I mean, Deion Walker, sure, just so we have depth, because I don't feel like signing new depth because I'm lazy. Oh yeah, and let's see, did we gain any dev traits this year? Okay, none on offense, rough start. I was hoping Jackson Dart could get star as a rookie, but I mean, I guess he developed, what, 11 overall? I can't remember exact, was he a 71 or a 72? Either 11 or 12 overall as a rookie, I think. So we'll take that. When it looks like Andrew Makuba gained superstar, maybe, unless he had it. I kind of doubt he would have it. So yeah, he gained that. I mean, I feel like he deserves superstar. I like Andrew Makuba a lot, but I wouldn't think Madden would do that. And then Will Johnson, again, unless he had it, he didn't. Surprisingly, Pooh Paul didn't gain star dev. Dude had 4 picks and went up 2 overall, or 2 overall, yeah. Do I need to crank my linebacker XP sliders or something? I don't know, maybe. I'll check that after this rebuild. I'll see how they develop and how the whole league develops at linebacker. But all right, let's get into free agency, and we'll see if there are players we can sign here. I have no idea if there will be or not. No, there are not. Okay, this is a horrible class. There's some pretty good running backs. There's Omarion Hampton. He didn't really develop a whole lot as a rookie. Probably didn't play a whole lot. Yeah, we might just sit out free agency for this year. There's Ike Ekwonu, if we want Ike Ekwonu. He allowed 17 sacks. Of course he did. I want a guard. I guess we'll just draft guard. Why does Luke Newman not have a face? Like, not even this face. Just no face. All right. Well, let's get to the draft. We'll save our money for when there are actual free agents. But all right, in the draft, the Commanders have the #1 pick. We pick at 14. I guess that's fair. I was hoping it would be a little higher, but I don't know why I was hoping for that necessarily, because we went 9-8, like that's a winning record. I focus scouted John Ward. I wish we could get him. He's projected to go at 13, top 5 talent, left guard. That was arguably our worst position last year. I also focus scouted 2 corners. One of them is a top 5 talent too. I mean, you know, if we don't get Ward, I would be fine going with Holiday. I mean, one's a bigger need than the other, but a top 5 talent is a top 5 talent. Oh, are both available? Okay, unless I'm blind. Yeah, I'm going John Ward out of UCLA. 40 bench reps, ran a 4.96 at 327 pounds. All right, never change Madden. We'll take him. Rank 1 in the class, got him at 14. I didn't think he would be that good. Like, he has a couple B's and a C. Some of those A's must be really, really high A's, like 95 pluses. But all right, round 2, I focus scouted receiver. There is a first round talent left. He is a slot receiver, so he's gonna have normal dev unless we get really lucky. But I think he might be the pick unless we want to wait and take Watson and do something else here, or I guess that's it. I just want to check the usual positions to make sure there's nobody like insane. I don't see anyone. All right, easy decision then. Let's go with Nick Pearman, or Pearman. I guess that's Pearman. He's a 6'3", 234-pound slot receiver. Is this guy labeled right? Is he just a big slot? I don't know. So maybe he'll have norm or hidden if he's mislabeled. He does. Okay. I was thinking maybe he's a physical receiver and it just has the wrong archetype on him. We'll take that. Very good pick. We're number 25 though. That's disgusting, but we'll change that if I remember. Damn it, the Jets don't have a 3rd round pick. Why don't they have a 3rd round pick? What'd they do with it? I don't remember. All right, let's go with a blocking tight end probably. No, is there a good lineman left? Let me see. Dustin Evans looks decent. He's really the only one that looks decent. Solid strength. He looks pretty good. We'll take him. I'd guess like I was gonna say 2nd round talent. He is the last 2nd round talent. But hidden dev, only 21 years old. Sounds good. We didn't have a 5th round. Why do we have 4 6th round picks? Whatever. We'll see. We'll see how he did. Man, I hope they fix the nose tackle thing. I just took a top 5 talent in the 6th round because they overscaled defensive tackles somehow. Just sort by tackle rating once you get to like the... I mean, this guy's probably pretty good too. Not nearly as good, but probably pretty good. But I don't know what they did. This game really is just the same as Madden 25 with more glitches. Like, how do you manage that? How do you copy and paste and still mess up? But all right, here's how we did in our first draft. John Ward is an A 82 overall. Yeah, 95 strength, of course, but also 94 impact blocking. That's his about 95 overall rating that boosts his overall up so much, I figured. That's why we need A pluses. That would be nice. I know that won't happen, but it would be nice. I guess not that drafting really needs to be easier or anything, but still, it'd be a little less confusing. Well, it's not really that confusing, but whatever. Let me just complain. Nick Pearman, whatever, 75 overall, he's good. Dustin Evans, 72. Cortland Harden, 77 overall, of course, top 5 talent. I'm surprised he's only a 77 as a top 5 talent. This must not have been the best draft class ever, but he's still good. There was a really nice tight end that went to the Packers, thankfully not in the division. But yeah, getting 2 top 5 talents, number 1 and number 5, we'll take that. But all right, here we are heading into year 2. We're up to an 86 overall already, up 6 overall in 1 season. We'll take that. 87 offense, 85 defense. Definitely looking nice with all the superstars now. I'm glad we gained those. Of course, especially with how young guys like Andrew Makuba and Will Johnson are, they could develop a ton by the end of this. Probably into the 90s, I would assume. But I mean, we could do some damage this year. This could be a very, very good team. Hopefully our pass rush stays about the same. I would take that, and just hopefully the left side of our line holds up a little better. That's really all we need to hope for, and hope that nothing else really gets too much worse. I guess the picks probably won't be as good, but hopefully some other things can get better and make up for that. But all right, let's get to the mid-season. I guess our offense was good through the preseason, if that means anything. Doesn't in real life, but does in Madden sometimes. We'll see. But all right, we are 5-2 at the mid-season. Doing about as well as we should, and you know what? Let me check. Where do we rank for overall already? I mean, the goal wasn't to be the best overall in the league already, but we might be. I think we are by 2 overall already. It looks like who was it? I saw 285s. The Chargers, and the Dolphins, and the Texans are 85s, but we're 2 overall higher than those teams. So we're already the highest overall team in the league. Looks like we have the best offense in the league. Not a great defense, though. I'm already thinking about changing the defensive playbook, of course. But I mean, like, I feel like that's fair when we're, again, 17th on defense with the highest overall team in the league, the best roster. But speaking of defense, Greg Rousseau, Will Johnson, both need contracts. Colston Loveland, Donovan Ezeraku, Kenneth Grant, Gray Zabel, we'll see. We are starting him again this year just because I was too lazy to put Savainea back in, but we'll see. Alec Iomanner, I wish he got star. I'm surprised he didn't with 14 receiving touchdowns, but sure. Rousseau will re-sign, though. We'll go 4 years, 110. He takes it. Will Johnson, I'm glad we pay him early. 7 years, 111. That contract should age very well. Colston Loveland, I'll go 4 years, 44.4. Sure. Ezeraku, 3 years, 38. That's cheap, especially with how he played last year. Kenneth Grant, sure, why not? And then the rest we'll see. Iomanner I want, but he doesn't have a dev trait and he's not interested. Let me see how our O-line's doing this year, though. Glad I looked. 21 sacks allowed already. Okay, who's getting benched? Probably Josh Simmons. Joe Alt isn't doing that well, though. This adds up to 21. I mean, it adds up to 19. I guess it just didn't count some against a specific player. I forgot it does that. I don't know. Really, the only backup we have is Dustin Evans. I don't know if I necessarily trust him enough. I think we'll just have to leave it again. And then if someone's really bad, we'll bench him for the playoffs. But let's get to the playoffs and let's hope we make them. You never know in Madden. Okay, we do. We end up going at 12-5. Wish we could have gotten the first round bye, but it is what it is. The 7-10 Bears made the playoffs. I love this game. But Jackson Dart, about the same as last year. Better completion percentage, though. 3,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks. Yeah, just the big difference was, I think, a 5 higher completion rate. But Josh Jacobs, 1,500 yards, 6 per carry, 14 touchdowns. Maybe we need to give the ball to him more. Man, maybe we should. But nah, I'm not going to change the offensive playbook. If it was bad, I would, but we're doing good, so I'm not going to touch it. Defense, I might think about, though, but almost 1,400 yards and 18 touchdowns for A.J. Brown. Iomanner, Pearman, and Loveland all got about 700 yards-ish. But let's see, Josh Simmons, I think that's bench-worthy. 19 sacks allowed. 11 for Alt, that's right there, too, from right tackle, but we don't really have anyone to bench him for. But let's see, Chris Paul Jr., almost said allowed 122 tackles, led the team with 122 tackles. 11 TFLs for Turner led the team. 13 sacks for Greg Rousseau, 10 for Kobe Turner, 6.5 for Graham, 6 for Paul, only 3.5 for Ezeraku this year. Got like a third of what he had last year-ish. But 6 picks for Makuba led the team, 3 for Bond, 2 for Morrison, then 1 for a few players. I don't know if I love this defense. I know some of those numbers are good, but what were the yards? Let me see what the yards were. I know we were 12th for points per game. Oh, apparently it's the same as what our offense was, so second. Maybe we should leave it then? I don't know. This should have been a first round bye team though. But Trevor Lawrence wins MVP on the Bengals. Shador at 2 for the Bills. This has been an interesting start to this rebuild. I also feel like the Packers always get Josh Allen. The Falcons, I feel like, get Justin Herbert a lot. That's weird. At least for me. I mean, maybe not for other people, but at least a few fantasy draft rebuilds in a row. Isaiah Hodgins up there for Offensive Player of the Year, because playbooks are the only thing that matters. Let's see, AJ Brown at 3, Josh Jacobs at 9 for Offensive Player of the Year. Will Anderson on the Jags wins Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to DeMar Sampson for the Bills. Pierman, I keep calling him Pierman. I said I would call him Pearman, but I keep wanting to call him Pierman, so I'm gonna call him Pierman. Number 4 for him. Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Will Collins. I couldn't imagine a more boring name. He wins it for the Bengals. No Jets. But yeah, let's at least bench, almost said Will Johnson, Josh Simmons. I guess both are kind of generic names too. Let's put in Dustin Evans, another kind of generic name. I guess Dustin's a little weirder than Josh. But we are going to be taking on, I was going to say the MVP-led Jaguars. I forgot Trevor Lawrence is on the Bengals now. How are the Jags looking though? Oh yeah, they drafted Pat Surtain. Of course, Will Anderson, Defensive Player of the Year. I saw David Montgomery up there for Offensive Player of the Year last year. Looks like he was even better this year. Did I just miss him this year? Maybe. Chris Godwin, they kept Devin Lloyd, Nate Wiggins. Oh yeah, they have Geno Smith at QB. My GOAT, the best quarterback to ever live, on God. But all right, but let's see if we can win our first playoff game of this rebuild. Of course not. We lose 40-14. All right, we're changing this defensive playbook. Which one should we go with? I can't remember which one's good. Which one did I use in the last rebuild? Was it Raiders? I think it was Raiders. Or maybe we didn't change the defensive playbook at all. But I think the Raiders worked for us when we used it, so I'm gonna use it here. But all right, this year we had a Bears versus Chiefs Super Bowl. Can't even get rid of the Chiefs in this world. If there was like a fantasy draft for whatever reason in real life, not that they would ever do that, but I would hope they would go by like all-time win percentage and it wouldn't just be random. I would hope the first pick would be like the Browns or, well, no, I guess they won championships in like the 50s, but like the Jags or whoever has the worst win percentage all time. I don't know. I can't remember though. Who was the Bears QB? Bryce Muldrow. Okay, that's why I don't remember. It's not a real player. Was he good? Well, apparently if they won the Super Bowl, ooh, he was okay. He had a good completion percentage, but 19 touchdowns to 13 picks. Interesting. But all right, for re-signings, Gray Zabel was pretty good this year, and he is interested. I can't remember if he was interested before, was he? I don't know, but I'll go 2 years. He's more expensive than I expected. Asking 20 mil a year, almost. I'll go 2 years, 38 though. He was good this year at least. But Io Manor isn't interested. I feel like it's not gonna be too hard to replace him. We'll see. We mostly just throw to AJ Brown. But let's see if there's anything we can do in free agency this year. Okay, maybe. Fred Warner's available, but he has 25 offers and he's not interested. So yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. They're good players, but I don't know who we can get. Should we try to keep Io Manor? Could go for Xavier Restrepo. He got star dev. Sure, he's interested and not too expensive. Why not? Not that exciting, but gotta do what we gotta do. I would want to tackle, but only Zach Tom is here, and I'm guessing he's gonna have a lot of offers. Yeah. Or well, I knew he had a lot of offers, but I was assuming big offers, and he does. Man, I think we're mostly gonna sit out of free agency again. We'll go for Xavier Restrepo, but like that's it. We do get him. Wow, 78 overall player who's not really going to develop much because he's already 25. Such an old age. It's super exciting, I know, but it's something at least. But we're now up to an 88 overall. Hopefully we'll have a better off or defense next year. We're already slipping down in terms of offensive scheme fit. I never think about scheme fit. I maybe should, but I don't for some reason. I don't know. But let's get to the draft. But all right, this year in the draft, the Commanders have the #1 pick again. Not going well for them. But we pick at 23. I wish we could have beat the Jags in that playoff game, but it is what it is. Ooh. Okay, one of our focus scouts was good. Billy Mills, top 5 talent at receiver. I figured he looked pretty good. Not the best deep route, but I guess he is a slot receiver. I also focus scouted a guard. Ooh, he's good. Diego Espinoza, and who was the other one? It was an edge rusher. I don't know why I focus scouted an edge rusher. Where'd he go? Wait, did I not focus scout him? Oh no, it was Conley. Never mind. I was gonna focus scout Conley and Carruthers or whatever, but I decided to focus scout the receiver instead of this guy, so I think that was a good decision. But all right, let's just get to our pick. Hopefully that receiver is still here. If he isn't, it's not the end of the world though. He is still here. Billy Mills, top 5 talent. If he wasn't here, we also also could have gone with Ian Scott. If he wasn't here, I guess we could have gone with Jonathan Conley. Not that we need an edge rusher, so I don't really know why I focus scouted him, but he is good. First round talent. Let's go Billy Mills. Easy choice. Again, he is a slot receiver, so I gotta assume normal dev. And I mean, he's like an actual slot receiver. He's not a mislabeled one, but we'll take him still. Rank 5. Does have hidden though. I feel like, did they change it? Do slot receivers have a better chance of having hidden dev in this game? Nah, I doubt Madden would actually change something like that. But man, round 2, I already don't know what to do. I might just go with the pass rusher here so we have a good third. Derek Horn looks fine. He has good tackling, but other than that, he looks like a bad run defender. He does have good strength, though, and not horrible speed for being 276. Sure, we'll take him. Rank 55, we got him at 55. That's interesting, but he does have hidden dev. I feel like we've had really good luck with that lately. But all right, round 3, maybe the last pick I'll show this year. Let's go with the guard before it's too late. I guess we could maybe take him later, but I don't like to risk it. Let's go with Diego Espinoza. We pretty desperately need O-line depth. Rank 44, got him at 87. We'll take that. But all right, another pretty good draft. Well, not pretty good, very good. Billy Mills, rank 5, of course. Better this year. Last year, a top 5 talent was only a 77. This year, it's an 80, so we'll take that. And I mean, he'll start for us immediately. I know we just signed Xavier Restrepo, but he probably won't start. And then Derek Horn and Diego Espinoza are pretty good. They were worth the picks, I guess. Espinoza was. Horn was the exact right pick, I guess. Also made the pick of Cole Green. I was looking for another decent lineman, and then I gave up, so I just took him. He's not great. And then the CPU at least got an okay receiver. But yeah, definitely a better draft class than last year. There was another 80 overall receiver, Rakeem McGriff. I guess we could have taken him too, but Mills is a year younger, so I guess we made the right choice, unless McGriff has a crazy dev trait, which I wouldn't have really known, obviously. But yeah, good draft. It looked like the Panthers had a really good draft. 81, 80, 77. What is that? 2 top 5s and a top 10 or something? Or I guess close to top 10-ish. But we did pretty well ourselves, I think. Hopefully that and a new defensive playbook is enough to at least get us a deep playoff run. We'll have to find out. But heading into year 3, we are up to an 88 overall, 89 offense, 88 defense. We gained some good dev traits. I can't remember if I showed this yet or not, but Jackson Dart did get star. Let's see, Danny Stutzman got superstar. I didn't even really notice how he was doing. Chris Paul Jr. finally got star. I think Zach Bond just gained X Factor. Andrew Makuba got X Factor. So we're looking pretty good on defense in terms of dev traits. But we're hoping for a big breakout year from Jackson Dart. Could be possible. He's been pretty good so far. I mean, I always feel the need to explain this, but for real life, these would be really good numbers. In Madden, they're pretty good. But hopefully he can have like a 40+ touchdown season. We'll see. I'm still a little worried about the offensive line, definitely. I'm gonna keep Josh Simmons in there just because I don't really trust Evans or Espinoza yet. But I mean, if he's bad enough, we'll bench him. Just hopefully he isn't. And we'll see what this new defensive playbook can do. I don't know if the Raiders playbook is good. If it isn't, I'm gonna switch to the Bucks because someone said that was good. But all right, we'll see how we do. Let's get to the midseason, and I hope we're good. It's not 2028 yet, thankfully. Okay, well, maybe the Raiders defensive playbook isn't great. Let's try the Bucks. We're 2-5 at the midseason and have the worst defense in the league. All right, let's not do that. Normally, I like to give them a chance, but not if we're dead last and 2-5 as easily the highest overall team in the league. And we're gonna bench Justin Simmons again. Maybe even Gray Zabel. Yeah, 4 sacks from right guard. No. So maybe this is our underperformance season, I hope. Getting it out of the way this year instead of 2028. But who are we gonna have to re-sign this year? Kirby Joseph, Benjamin Morrison, Noel Williams. Lots of defensive players on the worst defense in the league, but I don't really think it's their fault. We'll re-sign Kirby Joseph, 4 years, 73. Re-sign Benjamin Morrison, 5 years, 81. He doesn't take it. We'll see. But all right, I'm trying to get out of this season. We'll forget this ever happened. Let's get to the end of the year. And I mean, there's still a chance we can make the playoffs. It's not fully over yet, but I mean, it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna guess 8-9 or 9-8 or something like that. Man, I know this game too well. We end up going 8-9, of course, like every single season. Jackson Dart did his part. 38 touchdowns, 3 picks. Very, very good year. This is the year I was hoping for. We just happened to have the worst defense in the league. Josh Jacobs was amazing. AJ Brown was amazing. Joe Alt wasn't, but of course he wasn't because he's a good overall player. Number 2 ranked right tackle in the league, it said. Let's see. Good amount of sacks. 16 for Rousseau, 12 for Ezeraku. Why was our defense bad? Should we just run it back? Oh, 6 picks on the year. But I mean, I've had worse and still had a good defense. We just had a horrible pass pass D, but we had a really good run D. Looks like, or no, Benjamin Morrison was good. I don't know. I can't really point to who it was specifically. Let's see. A generated player, Calvin Overstreet, wins MVP for the Colts. Jackson Dart at 4, we'll take that. Jared Goff on the Dolphins. Let's see, AJ Brown at 3 for Offensive Player of the Year, Dart at 4. Not to sound like a casual, but who the hell is Miles Price? I don't know who that is, but he was up there for Offensive Player of the Year. I would assume he is a receiver, and I would assume he was their number 3 receiver, if I had to make a wild guess. Or maybe not specifically number 3, but their slot receiver. Yep, he's a receiver, of course. But Nick Bosa, Defensive Player of the Year. I was gonna say, kind of surprising, because the QBs in the division are Jackson Dart and Jared Goff, but I realized Jalen Hurts is in the division, so probably got half of his sacks on him. Peter Richards wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That sounds like a fake name from a bad comedian, I guess. I don't know. Billy Mills at number 5. So definitely not as good of a year as we hoped for. Hopefully the Bucs defense is better. Maybe this was our forced down year. We just got it a year early. Sometimes it is. But I mean, we're a 90 overall. Where does that rank? Or I should say, how much is that the highest overall by? I see the Commanders are an 87. Is there an 88, or are we the highest overall team by 3? I think we're the highest overall team by 3, and we missed the playoffs. John Madden didn't die for this. I was gonna make a joke like John Star Wars or whatever, like that type of thing, but I forgot John Madden is a real person, or was. But we had a Packers-Chargers Super Bowl, the Brian Bulaga Bowl, I guess. I don't know. The Chargers win at 37-31. Cool. But all right, we'll re-sign Benjamin Morrison, even though our pass D was horrible. We'll give him neutral. If he doesn't take it, he doesn't take it. He does. Okay, cool. And then other than him, it's just depth, so we'll let all these guys go. But we still have 2 more chances to win a Super Bowl here. I would hope we can, but simulation in this game is horrible, so who knows? But this glitch is still around? Really? Where it says like active negotiations 0 out of 0? I feel like I haven't seen this in a long time, but okay, there we go. What do we want to do here? What do we really even need? I guess secondary? We could sign Azareye'h Thomas, an actual Jet. Oh, okay, no picks in his career so far. Maybe that's not the move. Like, I don't know what to add to this team. It's a 90. It's the highest overall team in the league by 3. We don't really need anything. We just need to actually perform as well as we should. So I'm not going to sign any free agents because this team is going to get ridiculously expensive, and I don't know if there's a starter we could sign here other than, I guess, Azareye'h Thomas, or like, that's it? Maybe one of these defensive tackles? That's about it. This team's too good for free agency, but we went 9-8. I love this game. But all right, in the draft, I thought about trading our first round pick away for like a DB or something, but I feel like we just got horribly unlucky last year. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, because we really don't need one on paper. I guess we need a slot corner, but that's it. Danny Stutzman got X Factor. This might be the first time Danny Stutzman has gotten X Factor in any franchise ever. But yeah, we're just gonna run it back and hope it gets better. We're going with the Pete Carroll special. But I mean, I feel like that's a valid strategy in Madden with how inconsistent this game is. But I did see a top 5 talent right tackle. Best believe I'm gonna take him. Honestly, I would never guess that. His ratings don't look that good. He must be, yeah, he's really strong. He's only the second strongest tackle, apparently. Who's stronger? Either Jeff White or probably Jeff White, because he's a little better. No? Yeah, Raheem Sanford, 43 bench reps. But all right, let's go with Colin Ramsey out of Washington State. Let's go. Almost lost to Idaho yesterday. Big shout out for that. Rank 2? I thought he would be ranked 5. This must not be a great draft class, unless he's a lot better than I'm expecting. Maybe he has 95 impact block or something. Probably. But all right, round 2, let's go with a DB. This wasn't a great corner class, even early on. I saw some like okay ones, but nothing great. So let's go with Peter Lafferty. This isn't like the best value pick ever, but I mean, that's a lot of B ratings. Great. If this isn't a 75 overall player with normal dev, I don't know what is. Maybe he won't have normal. He does have hidden. Okay, cool. We'll take that. And all right, last pick for this year. Is there another decent lineman left? Aguayo? I don't know that I've seen that last name since Roberto Aguayo. Real great kicker. Lovelock honestly looks better though. He actually has good strength as a pass protector guard. He might be pretty good. Let's take him. Rank 64. Okay, honestly thought he would be better. I thought he would be a first round talent. Pass protector guards with good strength are rare even early on in the draft. I'm surprised he isn't better. Aguayo was the better player. I guess we got both, but I wouldn't have expected that. He does have normal though, so I guess I would have rather had the other guy. But guess what? We get both, because we probably need both. But all right, here's how we did in the draft. Colin Ramsey, 79 overall. You know, was hoping for a little higher of an overall, being the second best player in the class, but he's still decent. Lafferty and Aguayo were 74s, and then glove locks, a 73, not horrible. I also took Fernandez, finally got a hidden dev blocking tight end, probably has X Factor for some reason. Pretty good draft, nothing too crazy, but we got some much needed O-line depth. Damn, there wasn't even an 80 overall in this draft. Ramsey was tied as the highest overall player. That's tough. But all right, now heading into year 4, we are up to a 90 overall. This team better be good. I actually remembered to spend the coach points, so y'all better be proud. I don't know why that's so hard for me to remember, probably because I've never done it and I just always set it to auto, but now it isn't a thing anymore for some reason. At least I don't think it is. But this is the O-line we're going with. I don't know how confident I am in it, but Joe Wald at left tackle, Ramsey at right, starting Evans at guard this year. We'll see how this goes. But I'm more worried about the defense, which should be good, but hasn't been, at least last year. Well, I mean, it's never been good necessarily. Just last year it was the worst in the league. So again, hopefully that was just Madden being Madden and it randomly is better this year. I mean, we do have a new defensive playbook, but we'll see how much of a difference that makes. Wow, our highest scheme fit for offense is a 52. Not great. But yeah, I mean, there really aren't many changes to the team. Just Lafferty instead of whoever our slot corner was before. I can't remember. Noel Williams, I think. And then, of course, a different O-line. So hopefully this helps. Also, why does it keep getting rid of the kicker at QB3? It keeps confusing me. I'm like, did I not reorder the depth chart? But I did. I had the kicker there for a second. I don't know. Whatever. Let's get to the mid-season point once again. And please, can we not underperform for the first time in this rebuild? We'll see. All right, maybe this team is just cursed. Maybe we need to change the defense a little bit. I rarely do this in rebuilds, but it might be the players. Okay, I was gonna say Donovan Ezeraku's been horrible, but he's leading the team in sacks. Man, it looks like the Bucs defense has been good. I guess I've only played 6 games, but still. I wish playbooks didn't matter so much in this game. It would make simulations so much better. I don't know why they can't just make overall the main thing that matters. Like, in what world is this a 1-in-5 team or 1-in-6 or whatever we are? I'm going with the Patriots defense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. Better than 32nd again, or I think we're 31st this year, so much better. Who do we have to re-sign? Because they're probably getting traded. Andrew Makuba, he's been really good. But it has been a couple years since he's been really good. Do we go back to the Jets defensive playbook? I don't know. Danny Stutzman, Mason Graham. I think we'll trade him. He was good the first couple years, has been mid since. What's he ranked? 19 for defensive tackles at only 24 years old. That's a 3rd round pick, I think. Maybe a 2nd, but I feel like 3rd is a more safe bet because he's in a contract year. It said the Giants had no interest in him. Okay. Josh Simmons is a top 10 right guard. I'm gonna take a 3rd round pick for him too. We'll trade him to the Commanders. What's a Rondé Gadsden ranked? 26, Gray Zabel ranked 7 for left guards. That's a 3rd round pick. We'll send him to the Bengals. This is not a realistic rebuild if you couldn't tell. I mean, I always like to keep them kind of realistic, but if these guys need contracts and they've been playing like garbage, they're out of here. Kobe Turner, I think, will re-sign. Yeah, he's been really good for the most part. We'll go 3 years, 59. He takes it. What's Andrew Makuba ranked? Could I get a 1st for him? Ranked 6. He just hasn't been good in a couple years, but I know it's in there. This might be a 6-year rebuild. We'll see. Danny Stutzman, I mean, he got X Factor, sure. We'll re-sign him. He's not that expensive. Chris Paul Jr., sure. The rest of these guys are mostly backups. There is Zach Bond. We'll re-sign him at the end of the year. He might retire. We'll see. Hopefully not, but you never know. But all right. Got rid of a decent amount of underperformers. Just we cannot catch a break with this defense after changing away from the Jets defensive playbook, which wasn't even that good to begin with. So I don't know what to do with our defense. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna make another executive decision here. Joe Alt has been horrible. He is the number 2 ranked right tackle in the league. I'm getting a 1st round pick for him. He's only 25. I don't care that he's been playing like garbage. He shouldn't be. That's not my problem. I'm taking a 1st for him. At least. Maybe even a 1st and a 3rd. The Saints take that. I don't know who we're gonna play at left tackle, but it couldn't be much worse. Okay, I guess somehow that worked. I guess I did the right thing at the midseason. We end up going 10-7 after being 1-in-5 or 6 or whatever we were. This game is so weird. We only lost, I guess, 2 more games. The rest of it, we lost to the Browns. I guess this is a different Browns team in this world, but still, the Browns. How did we make the playoffs, man? Jackson Dart was good, 4,000 yards, 42 touchdowns, 5 picks. Very, very good season. Josh Jacobs is still a monster at 30, I would assume. Yeah, he is 30. AJ Brown, almost 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns. He's really been our only receiver, but I am not touching this offensive playbook. If it's been been good, I'm keeping it. And let's see, Espinoza at left tackle did a lot better than Joe Alt. I guess he could be the future. I guess he did well last year when we put him in too, right? Or at least okay. I guess he wasn't amazing, but he did okay. Can't wait for one of these guys to randomly be horrible next year after being great this year. Well, I use the word great very loosely, but great for Madden. But Zach Bond, 99 tackles, 13 TFLs for Russo. Sacks, 11.5 for Russo, led the team, 9 for Ezeraku. He's kind of bounced back. Oh yeah, I forgot he had 12 sacks last year. For some reason, I thought he had 3.5 sacks back-to-back years. I was very wrong on that. He's done really well. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten Superstar, but I guess I get it. But 7.5 sacks for Turner, and then picks, 2 for Makuba and Hippolyte. I didn't even realize Hippolyte was gonna play. Not my favorite player. I mean, he's a good athlete, but he is a player, that's for sure. Don't know why the Bears picked him, but who knows? Athletes at linebacker sometimes just work out. But 5 picks for 5 picks for 5 different players. 1 pick for 5 different players. You know what I mean? Words are hard. But Justin Herbert wins, I think, his first MVP, maybe? I can't remember if he's won one here. I feel like it's been the same top 2 every year. Jackson Dart at 3, though. Overstreet up here again. Caleb Williams up here again. It's been the same list. Trevor Lawrence up here again. I guess that makes sense, but still. AJ Brown at 3 for Offensive Player of the Year. Jackson Dart at 7. Let's see. Aiden Hutchinson takes Defensive Player of the Year on the Broncos. They also kept Nick Bonito. Let's see. Fernandez at 10 for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Lafferty at 4 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. So I don't know how we made the playoffs. I don't want to spoil it, and I don't want to, well, I guess I'm fine with jinxing it in this case, but usually when you're horrible at the mid-season and then you have a great second half to the year and make the playoffs, you just get absolutely dumpstered in the wild card. Just speaking from experience, that's usually what happens. You bounce back, it gets your hopes up, and then you just get belted. But hopefully not. We are 7 overall higher than the Patriots here. How much are we the highest overall team in the league by at this point? Let's see, I see the Raiders are an 88, and the Cowboys, and the Chargers, and the Bills, but we are 3 overall higher than those teams. Still, how did we only go 10-7? And I mean, we're a 91 overall after we traded away good overall players at the midseason because they were massively underperforming. We could have been a 92. I don't know if I would say 93, but at least a 92, trading away Joe Alt, who was like almost a 90 overall. I love this game, if you couldn't tell. I guess he was the only starter we traded away though, right? Was he? I already forgot. I don't know. But I'm yapping a lot. We're going to be taking on the also 10-7 Patriots in the wild card. I have a bad feeling, but let's see. Okay, we do beat them 23-20. We'll take that. And now we're going to be taking on the 13-4 LA Chargers. Not really what you want to see. They are like tied as the second highest overall team, of course, with how many time MVP Lamar Jackson at this point? I feel like he's won 1 here, right? No, he hasn't. 2-time MVP still. But I mean, he's been up there every year. But all right, can we move on to the conference championship for the first time in this rebuild? We can. We beat the Chargers 31-27. Here I was saying, whenever you bounce back, you get destroyed in the first round of the playoffs, but we're actually doing something so far. But now we're going to be taking on the Tennessee Titans with MVP Caleb Williams. I guess not MVP this year, but past MVP Caleb Williams up to a 99 with morale. They also have Trent McDuffie at a 99. They have Edgerrin Cooper, Terry McLaurin at 32. Not a great overall team though. I mean, we went up to a 92, so we're 7 overall better than them. But let's see, can we move on to our first Super Bowl of the rebuild, or do we need to go another season? Let's find out. We do make the Super Bowl. We beat the Titans by 1 point, 24-23. And just like that, we are going to be taking on the 49ers in the Super Bowl. When we're in year 4, I always have the dilemma of, do I want to make this the final game of the rebuild to build suspense? Or do I want to go another year no matter if we lose or what happens? I'm not going to make this the final year because this is the first year we've won a playoff game. If we win this Super Bowl though, we might have to go out that way because it's going to be hard to make this team much better. We need a long snapper. All right. Also, I think my new favorite defensive playbook is the Patriots. Brought us from 31st to 15th. I don't know if it's actually good, but it works for me 50% of the time. Let's see, I'll move Dorian Strong to long snapper, sure. No, not restructure, edit player. He's gonna be a higher overall than the actual long snappers in this game for some reason. He's a 59. Most long snappers are like a 26 or something, or lower. But all right, we'll jump in and watch this simulate. Oh, let me check out the 49ers team a little bit. What are they working with? I saw Malik Neighbors, of course, Christian McCaffrey, of course, CJ Stroud, Nick Bolton, Kelvin Banks, Byron Murphy, Jalen Phillips, Keon Coleman. Pretty good team. 5 overall below us, but still a good team. But we'll jump in and watch this simulate. This very well could be the final game of this rebuild. If we lose, it won't be, like I said, but we'll see what happens. But all right, here we go. In Super Bowl 60 something. I don't remember what it is. I always try to guess the number and I'm always wrong, but ooh, we are in Tampa Bay, one of the most interesting stadiums. Let's jump to the end of this game. 2 10-7 teams in the Super Bowl, and we'll see what happens. We do take the lead 7-0 early, make that 14-0. The 49ers do score, but we make it 21-7 in the second quarter. Now 28-7, 35-7. We are running away with this thing. We can't choke it. We're not scoring any more points. We do get another field goal, make that 45-22. And we go from 1-5 at the midseason. The announcers are too damn loud talking in my ear, but what a comeback story. Underperforming every year, still debatably underperforming this year. We should not have gone 10-7, but it doesn't matter. We destroy the opponent in the Super Bowl, which with this good of a roster, that's what should happen. So we'll take it.